What's up, guys? My name is Ty Holycamp, and I want to share my experiences with anxiety, confidence, and what I've dealt with, and how I managed to overcome it and find confidence within myself. And yeah, it's going to be 5 chapters, I'll say, where I go through different parts of my life and how it was affecting me at that time. But let's get started with my childhood. So I grew up very small town, grew up on a ranch. I was a very normal kid. I played sports, baseball, basketball, soccer, everything, football. Played every sport there was, had a lot of friends. It was just a great childhood overall. I mean, my parents were great, never really dealt with any hardship, but it's I don't even childhood was great. I don't even know what else to say about it. Like, I can't complain about anything. My my parents were pretty well off. I got damn near anything I wanted, it seemed like. Video games, toys. I just had a great time all around. And I never even considered the fact that anxiety was a thing. I didn't know what it was because I was young and stupid. I didn't know what depression was, anxiety, confidence. None of that meant anything to me at the time because it shouldn't. It shouldn't mean anything to a kid like that. So, throughout my whole childhood, I never had to worry about that. And that's what brings us into middle school. So, you see, middle school is whenever a lot of kids start to mature and more so mentally mature. So, this is the time where a lot of people become self-conscious about themselves, feel very, not great, and you seek approval from others. And I think I was a late bloomer, so it never really hit me until later on in middle school. But the thing that messed me up most was attraction. So I was always much smaller, scrawnier, just a small guy. I was probably like middle school, I was probably like 5'2", maybe 100 pounds, probably less. I was tiny. So this was about the time where the other people, or other guys specifically, girls too, they started hitting puberty, started getting much bigger, and it felt like I was just getting left behind. And there's nothing you can do about that. That's just natural genetics. But at the time, it felt like my world was crashing in on me because I felt like less than everyone else in my class, in my school. And I would go home every day. I'd just tell my parents, I wish I was taller. I wish I was bigger. And they'd just tell me, I promise you, just wait. It'll happen. And I trusted them. And I mean, now I'm 6 foot tall. It eventually came. But at the time, it felt like I was less than. And looking back, it didn't matter because I was in middle school. But at the time, it felt horrible. And I have one specific story where there was this girl I had a crush on. I really liked her. I wanted to ask her to a dance because we had school dances. So one day, I told all my boys. I was so excited. I slicked my hair back because I don't know. I thought it would make me look better. Looking back, it's stupid, but at the time, I was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna look great. I'm gonna have my hair slicked back. I'm gonna ask her. She's gonna say yes. It's gonna be awesome." All my boys were hyping me up, and at lunchtime, whenever it was, about that time to go ask her, she comes to my table and is just like, "Hey, I don't want to go to the dance with you." And I'm like, "Fuck." Like, at the time, it crushed me. Like, I was like, what do I even do? Like, I had this whole plan, and I guess I mean, I don't know what happened, but it was obvious she wasn't into me. And I mean, that sucked at the time. Because then it was just awkward. Like, I went to a very small school, so I see her all the time. It was awkward for a long time, but, that's whenever it really started to get to me, anxiety and confidence. So this this was the first time I'd ever been anxious to like talk to a girl or approach a girl. And after this first rejection, it felt like impossible to ever speak to a woman again like that, because it felt like, oh, well, they're just going to reject me. Why wouldn't they? And this is when the confidence issues started. You know, I've had low confidence. I was like, why would they want me? Who would want me? Blah, blah, blah. Just a big pity party for myself. And, you know, eventually I was able to, you know, talk to girls. You know, I was friends with some girls, but all through middle school, I began a rapid decline in my confidence and a rapid incline in my anxiety. So going into freshman year, I didn't feel great. All I really had, I wasn't great at sports. I was okay, but like I said, I was much smaller, much scrawnier than everyone else. So I wasn't great at sports. I wasn't, you know, popular or whatever. But I had a real passion for running. And running, I started running cross country track in middle school, and I loved it. It was my favorite thing to do. I took that into high school. I loved my coach. He was one of the greatest coaches I've ever had. Coach Reed, shout out, love you. But I realized that this anxiety and this confidence my confidence was non-existent now. That carries over into your sports life and the rest of your life. So I would go to meets, like track meets, cross country meets, and either before the race or during the race, my anxiety would be so high and so dense that I would quite literally throw up out of like anxiousness and being scared to, I guess, let people down or not perform to my ability. But I couldn't even compete because I felt so like low of myself. And you know, it sucks because I would have workouts where I would perform at such a high level and I'd feel amazing about myself, and then whenever it came to competing, I just couldn't do it. I would crack under the pressure every single time, and it crushed me because I wanted to be good so bad. I put in more hours than anybody. I trained my ass off, and that's not to say I didn't know what I was doing. My training sucked, but the point is I was training my ass off and doing everything I felt like I could to be the best at track and cross country, and it just seemed like it didn't work out. It seemed like it was just never going to happen. But I didn't give up. This went through my sophomore year. So freshman, sophomore year, I was pitiful. I sucked. I couldn't compete whatsoever. And I guess my junior year, it started to get better for some reason. I think because my junior year, I finally started to like taper down to the end of puberty. So I was taller. I was like 6 foot now, still very skinny, but I think being taller gave me that little bit of confidence I needed, just had more presence around people, and it helped me to compete to a decent level. I still wasn't great, but there was some meets I was able to go to and not throw up. Which sounds ridiculous because, you know, it makes sense to throw up after your race, but before every single race, I just throw up because I just couldn't handle it. Because I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I could perform. I thought I'd let down my coach, let down my teammates, let down my family. And all of that just didn't allow me to perform at my best. And this whole time, since I had mentioned, like, I was going to ask that girl out in middle school, I hadn't talked to a girl since. It had been 4 years, and I hadn't even attempted to talk to a girl or, like, get a girlfriend. So, talking to girl skills, 0. Running skills, okay. Like, I was alright. But I had 0, like, charismatic skills whatsoever. I didn't know how to talk to people. And it's after my junior year, I had an amazing track year. Like, my junior year track was my peak. I I made it to regionals. I ran okay at regionals. I still cracked under the pressure of regionals. Like, I couldn't even perform to my best there because, I still had that lingering anxiety and confidence issues. I just thought that other people were better than me and I couldn't compete, which is just a horrible mentality to go through life with. And I didn't realize that at the time. I just thought that was how things were. But wrapping up my junior year, I met this girl. Her name was not gonna say her name, but I really liked her and she really liked me, and we started dating. And I didn't have any experience dating girls, talking to girls, doing anything with girls. I was 17, hadn't had my first kiss, not great stuff, you know what I mean? And this was big for me because I was like, whoa, wait, I could have a girlfriend? That's crazy. Like, why? The biggest question I even continue to ask myself today, like, why do you like me? Like, why would you like me? That's weird. Like, I still deal with those self-confidence issues. Like, why would you want to be with me? I'm better about it now because, I can see my good qualities and why someone might want to be with me. But at the time, I just kept questioning, like, why me? Why me? Like, there's nothing special about me. Why do you want to be with me? Because I didn't understand, like, basic, like, social things at the time. And, it really gave me a boost of confidence because, I finally had this girl and she liked me. I finally had my first kiss. It felt like I was getting to the level of everyone else around me because, my friends would talk about this stuff like, oh, I kissed this girl, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, man, I really want to be like them. I want to do those things, but, it just seemed like it was never in the cards for me. And that just added on anxiety, low confidence. It all just adds together. It all comes together to anxiety and confidence. And finally, after I got this first girlfriend junior year, we dated for 6 months maybe, break up, whatever. It was great. I really liked her. And, nothing bad happened. We just mutually broke up. But after this, I was really sad. I was depressed for like 2 weeks, but I was fine. Like, I always envisioned a breakup being like the hardest thing you could ever go through. And, after 2 weeks, I was fine. I was still running at the time. I still had a huge passion for running. And going into my senior year, I was over her. Like, she was in the past. I didn't have to worry about her anymore. So I was completely focused on my running. All I wanted to do was be a college athlete for cross country. That's all I wanted to do. But my senior year, my coach that I loved, he retired, and we got this new coach. Just got nothing good to say about the guy. He just wasn't a good coach. He wasn't a cross country coach. He didn't know what he was talking about. And in addition to this, after like the second meet of the year, I got a real bad like knee injury. I had to go to physical therapy for months, and my running career was basically over. I had, nothing left I could do because, it was over. It was my senior year. I was injured. We couldn't do anything. I didn't have fast enough times to like go off my junior year, so I was cooked. It was over. And this was really tough at the time because I thought that running was what I was meant to do. Like, I thought running was my thing. And then just to have that taken away, it's tough. It's really difficult. But I feel as though now, looking back, it was probably for the best. Because since I was no longer able to run because of my knee, I started lifting and getting into the gym. And one of my best friends, still great friends to this day, still lift together, he became my gym partner. We started going to the gym together. And this was really where my confidence anxiety started like taking opposite trajectories. Confidence went up, anxiety started slowly tapering down, but it still lingered there. It wasn't gone by any means. And I started going to the gym. I'm tiny, 130 pounds, little guy. And at first you're like, you see progress, you're like, whoa, dude, I look so good. This is sick. I love the gym. And I mean, at the time, it was like kind of a trend to go to the gym. It was pretty popular on social media, but I knew I really liked it. Like, I really enjoyed going to the gym. I liked seeing progress, and I mean, I just knew I was gonna keep going, even if the trend died off, or if like other people quit going, or it just wasn't popular anymore. I really felt like I had a passion for it, and now I've been going to the gym for over 2 years. I don't have an amazing physique, but I mean, I put on 30 pounds of muscle, which I think is pretty, I mean, that's pretty fucking good. I've completely changed the way I look, and, it's helped me a lot with my confidence. But we'll go past the gym for right now. And, another big thing before I get into my freshman year of college, a big thing I struggled with was attractiveness. I never thought I was attractive. I never, got attention from girls being like, "Oh, you're so hot." Or like, they don't say that, but like they'll be like, "Oh my God, you're cute." Or like have girls talk to you or like DM you, or just show any amount of like attraction. I never experienced that in high school personally. Like, obviously my girlfriend my junior year, she obviously thought I was attractive. She wouldn't date me if she didn't, but other than that, I got very little reassurance on my attraction levels, because I didn't think I was very attractive. And moving forward, my freshman year of college, going to Texas A&M University, I experienced a very different experience. You know what I mean? I would go out to bars on the weekend. I would have girls talk to me and be like, "Wow, you're very attractive." And I would just be like, thank you, I guess. Like, whatever you say, like, I don't believe you, but yeah. I was still having those issues believing that I could be attractive or have girls be into me. And this continued through my first semester, my freshman year. I would talk to girls, go out. I went out most weekends. I would talk to girls, meet a lot of girls. They would say I was attractive. And I mean, that was that. I still just didn't feel like I was like to that level that they were saying. And then the very end of my freshman year, first semester, I met a girl and we met at a bar and we started talking. She happened to live kind of close to where I live. And after our winter break, we started dating. So now we're on to girlfriend number 2. And at this time, I was a lot bigger than I used to be. Whenever we started dating, I was about 175 pounds, which was bigger than I necessarily wanted to be. I was on a really long bulk and I put on a lot of weight, but I was a lot bigger. I was tall, and I started to get a much more mature face. I still have a baby face, but it's much different than it used to be. And this girl, she was very pretty, very attractive. A lot of guys were interested in her. So that kind of made me feel like, whoa, I can do that. Like, I could get with a girl that all these guys want to be with, and she's with me. That's kind of fucking sick. And, that really, like, helped with my confidence. It proved to me that I was able to, like, get with these girls that were very attractive. And I would look back and, like, on my whole first semester, be like, all of these girls are saying I'm attractive. Why don't I just believe that? I just need to fully believe that I'm attractive enough to talk to these girls, or that I'm attractive enough in general. And it was really during my second semester, my freshman year of college, my confidence was at an all-time high, and my anxiety was also at an all-time high. This is because this girlfriend that I had, she caused me more anxiety than I could even explain. I won't go into details, but it was some of the most difficult moments in my life. I would literally sit at home while she was at the bars and watch a movie and drink whiskey and go, I would do that for hours to try and calm my nerves and calm my anxiety, because, I just didn't know what else to do. And I didn't realize that this girl was the reason it was causing me so much torment. So I didn't do anything about it because I really liked this. I won't lie, I loved this girl. I really did love this girl. And I felt like maybe I could change how she does things or change her ways, but you can't do that. You can't change somebody. So I never ended things with her. She ended up ending things with me the summer going into my sophomore year. We broke up. It crushed me. Absolutely crushed me. I was in love with this girl, 100%. I saw a future with her, and we break up, and that's that. It's over. This girl I talked to every single day for the past 8 months. Every day for the past 8 months. It's over. Don't talk to her anymore. And that breakup process lasted a very long time. I'd still say it's even lingering today because whenever you truly love somebody, it's very difficult to just let them go. It's extremely difficult. But it wasn't all bad. After a few months, I was able to realize that, wait, this is weird. My anxiety's gone. Like, I'm not anxious about, almost anything anymore. And it was almost like a lesson. This girl was a lesson to me that, the anxiety of like worrying about other people and trying to control them will only like bring you down. It was really tormenting me, and now that it was gone, it felt horrible, but that anxiety that I had was gone. And going into my sophomore year, confidence all-time high. I looked the best I ever have. And I just I've learned so much dealing with anxiety and confidence throughout my life. I just want to share it and share my story because I feel like other people have dealt with very similar things. And, the best way to become a confident person is to fake it. Whenever I was first becoming, like confident in myself, I didn't really believe it. I was faking it. I was pretending. But I pretended for long enough and I faked it for long enough, it just becomes the norm. It doesn't become fake anymore. If you fake something for long enough, it becomes the truth. And I think for confidence specifically, that's what I found is the best way to truly become confident in yourself. You have to fake it. You have to pretend. There will be moments where you don't feel confident, and there are moments whenever you're anxious. You have to pretend that you're not. I'll give one more example for my high school. My homecoming, high school, or senior year, I wasn't on on the homecoming ballot or anything. I wasn't in the running or whatever. But the announcer who was going to announce who won and who the people are, she got sick the day of. And I got approached and was asked to, give the speech and talk about these people and announce the winner. I get it. I even get anxious thinking about it now. So I was basically asked to speak in front of the entire school, and on very short notice. I didn't know what I was going to say. I had a script, but I hadn't even read through it. And I said yes. Because I wanted to challenge myself. I have always been a very poor public speaker, but I wanted to challenge myself. And that was the most anxious, not the most anxious I've ever been in my life, but one of the most anxiety-filling moments of my life, just because I was speaking through a speaker, so people couldn't see me, which helped, but everybody could hear me. So if I messed up one little thing, in my mind, I was like, oh, people are going to think I'm a fucking idiot. But I was reading it, I would mess up and just keep going, and pretend like it didn't happen. I had to pretend to the point where even if I messed up, I just convinced myself it didn't happen. I just kept going. And, this whole time, even my voice was shaking trying to talk through the speaker. And I'm sure I was psyching myself out and thought I sounded worse than I did, but when I was finally done, it was probably 10 minutes of talking. I finished up and people were like, wow, that was really good. You did a really good job. Thank you. And I was like, really? I didn't think I could be good at public speaking. That's crazy. And after that, I became one of the people they came to for public speaking at our school. And I became a regular for it, which was something I never thought I would do, because I would just get anxious talking in front of big crowds like that. And then it just became the norm. So I quite literally faked it until I made it. I I can't even describe to you how scared I was to go up there and speak in front of everybody, but I did it. That's what you have to. You really have to just do it. You can't think about it. You can't psych yourself out. You just have to do it. You have to pretend. You have to say, I'm the shit. I'm that fucking guy. I look great. And that's about all you can do. And all while you're doing this, you need to work towards becoming that person you say you are. So I would say, yeah, I look great, but I'm going to the gym every day to look great. It's yeah, I'm smart. Yeah, I also study however many hours a day to become an engineer. I'm great at talking to girls, but you don't get to see every time I fumbled over my words trying to talk to a girl and get embarrassed. You have to put these things into action and practice, because it's a skill just like anything else. You have to practice. And that's just the story of what I've gone through, my experiences, what I would recommend, how I think you could improve, and thank y'all for watching.